guys? Welcome back to Life Untangled Season 3. I am KC.
And I am Shaine.
And we are what is it?
Here we go. We just want to thank you guys for joining us on our godly platform to inspire, evolve, and share all our transparencies. It is so good to have you guys back joining us in all these wonderful conversational pieces we have for you guys to be able to share and just keep it real. Be honest with one another about so many different things just going on, things in relationships. We have a cooked up variety of things to go through with you guys.
Yes, this is going to be an exciting season. We're going to have a couple of guest speakers to join us. But for this episode 1, we have the drum roll. Oh, wait. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
And the like button. So that you can also remember to hit your notifications so that you're able to keep up with our videos and everything that we will be posting in this season.
Yes, and for our audio listeners on Spotify, don't forget to share, like this episode, and leave a comment down below wherever it puts you at. Let us know what you think, how we're doing, and what topics that you might want to hear.
Yes.
So, on that note, in this episode 1, season 3, is the do's and don'ts of
a relationship. A healthy relationship.
Of a healthy relationship. So we are going to go over 5 do's and don'ts that we always stick with, and we always are coming up with more do's and don'ts, because every relationship you have to adapt and grow. So you can't just be stuck on just one. You always have to come up with new ones to just make your relationship new every day.
Yeah. And I agree with my husband. You know, it's about adapting, being adaptable in any element, in any environment. Your relationship as well should be adaptable to changes, to growth. Because if you're not growing daily and you're not coming to a place where you're both evolving and just nurturing the relationship, it's not going to flourish. So in everything you do, from your relationship with your spouse, your partner, your parent, your sisters, etc., it's important to, be adaptable, be open and receptive to changes and bettering yourself so that you can better the quality of your relationships.
All right. So on that note, who's gonna go first? Who's gonna go first? I have my notes.
Okay.
So ladies first. Ladies first.
Okay. So to start off, we're gonna start with the do's, and do we kind of like just go one, or I list all my 5?
Let's just do one-on-one.
Okay, so we're gonna go one-on-one with our do list first. What's important to do in a relationship? So for me, my number 1 thing is listen. Be attentive. Listen more. That means, for me, when someone is speaking to you, it doesn't matter who that individual may be, but in your relationship, my husband has taught me along the years, because us women, ladies, I don't know if you agree or not, we have the tendency to overspeak, overshadow, give a piece of our mind, and all that is good, but it's also very important, as my husband has taught me, tact, to have tact, and as I have taught him, to listen attentively and not just hear. It's like the old saying goes, don't let it go in one ear and come out the next, because then it serves no purpose. It won't have any use for you to apply it to what you need to learn. So the first one for me is listen and be more attentive.
What were you saying? Oh, sorry. Or what? Yeah, listening is an absolute key. In relationships, everyone has their own identity. Everyone has their own job, or whether it's homemaker or they're going to a specific place of employment, you have to learn how to listen, right? And listen intently, because sometimes, a lot of the times, they don't want the problem solved. They just need an ear.
Yes.
Because it's a way to get something off their chest, to relieve that stress. And you're like, oh, man, thank you for listening. And it's like, okay, yeah, listen.
Well, in any relationship, we all are a therapist, so to speak. We all have moments that we want to give and moments that you have to take from the opposite sex. So that's something I would say we're all little psychologists.
Yeah. And again, like, listening goes a long, long, long way. If you like talk less and listen more, you will get really far in life. So listen. Yeah. So
that's your first?
No, that was your first.
I thought that was I was like, oh, we had the same dues.
Somebody wasn't listening. So do you want your don'ts? Do you want to do your don'ts?
No, we're on dues.
Oh, we're gonna just do dues. Okay.
The dues.
Dues. Okay. My first is don't be afraid to communicate.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Yeah. So hers was, learn to listen. For men, learn how to communicate. Learn how to speak and communicate effectively to your partner, as well as to anyone. Like, everyone has certain levels to communication. Like, if you met Barack Obama, you're like, yo, what's up, son? How you doing? No, you ain't gonna say, he's gonna be like, hey, Mr. Obama, ex-commander-in-chief, you're still my commander-in-chief. But, you would communicate in a way.
There's an appropriate format and way of communicating. In
a respectful manner. And for your partner, your wife, it's always great to communicate at this respectful tone and level. Because you don't want to be like, yo, get that. She's going to be like, excuse me? You talking to me? And it's like, all right. Boo cake.
Baby love.
Can you please hand me that over there? You get more bees with honey. I got you,
son, done. I got you.
You get more bees with honey.
Yeah.
So learn how to communicate and communicate well. And sometimes you got to say it how it comes out, but tact kind of comes in and says, okay, I normally say it this way. Let me say it in a way that the information is not miscommunicated. It's communicated in a way it's like, oh, I get it. I understand your position.
Yeah.
So communicate. Do learn how to communicate.
So that's your first.
That's my first.
That's a good one. Okay. High five to you. So for me, the second on the do's is find time to pray together. Yes. P-R-A-Y. Pray. Why this is important? Because just like communication is key, prayer is essential to any healthy relationship. It allows you to be on the same accord, to be on the same page per se, on whatever you agree on, and take to God in prayer, that you're believing for. So that's a second do for me.
That is extremely, we're not going in order what should be number one, but prayer is amongst the top three, at least, because the couple that prays together stays together. So you have to pray, and pray on everything. Right. Direction, communication, even if it's like a heated argument. Even the
smallest thing.
Let me take a step back so I can just like pray on how to communicate effectively. So I'm not saying something that's wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So prayer is just absolutely a major key.
Your number two.
My number two is identify your flaws. Be open with your flaws so you can work on them with your partner.
Yeah, that's good.
Right?
That's a good one.
Some people really don't see their flaws, right? You can't take your eyeballs out and just sit them on the table and they watch you do things in the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
So if your partner calls you out on something, you can't really get mad because she's the one who is closest to you, and they're like, you always leave this in the sink, and I know I'm your wife, your boo cake, but I'm not your genie or your maid. So what's up with that, man? So all right, that's a flaw. I gotta work on that. So it's always good to identify your flaws so you can fix them, right? You can't hide them. You can't brush them underneath the rug or anything. It's always good to identify your flaws so you can get better.
Yes.
Not
that's
bitter.
Good. That's good. So that was your second.
That was number 2.
My 3 do's. Do make time. Don't find time. But here, listen, guys. Make time for one another. Create even in the smallest way. If you have to, create date nights even in the smallest way. Those little details are very, 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 I would say crucial, because a lot of people, we get caught up with, work, kids, all the responsibilities that come with life. So a lot of people like to say, oh, there's not enough time in a day. Okay, it depends on how you look at that perspectively. But the truth is, when you love someone, or you care about someone, or anything, to say the least, anything, a child, a parent, a spouse, a friend, it's important to make the time. When you make the time, then that means you are pouring some of yourself, some of what you desire as well, to get back in return. It's a give and take to anything. So I feel it's important to not find time, but make time for whoever or whatever is important to you in life. When you show that, it just makes a relationship blossom even more. It's the same thing with God. God doesn't want you to just squeeze him in. No, he wants you to make the intimate time, to connect with him, to be rooted in him. And when you do that, he can open up so many doors for you.
Well, dang. That was mega deep. But yes, time can always be found, right? Even yes. I don't want to get too philosophical, but like time is really man-made, right? And there's always ways to find time. We have 2 kids, so like our date nights always end up with 2 kids snuggled up in between us, and we're just like, well, wait a minute, I'm trying to do something, Netflix and chill. Now I got the kids in the middle, So even then, like, we love our kids, we love just family time. So hey, that's what we signed up for. So always find the time to spend time with your significant other. Mm-hmm. It goes a long way. Mm-hmm. So my number 3 is traditions can kill you.
Let's hear this.
Right? Find time to adapt and adopt your own traditions, mm-hmm. right? And I say this because many of us have traditions that we follow when we don't even know why we following them, right? There's that story of, please forgive me, I always like mix up the story.
The lady that bakes her turkey for Thanksgiving and cuts off the tips or something like that.
It wasn't a fish?
No. It's a turkey.
It's a turkey, right? So
she's been doing it for years. Generations.
This daughter has been like doing this, and she finally asked, like, "Hey, mom, like, why do we always cut this part of the turkey off?" And she's just like, "Oh, well,
I did it
back
because
in
my
my
mother
day,
showed me how to do that.
no, her mother, but the reason why was because like in the 60s, they had ovens that were very, very small. So the whole turkey couldn't even fit in. So they had to literally like chop it and put it in piece by one on top, one on the bottom, right? So again, the mother didn't know, and then the daughter followed the mother and the grandmother. So the daughter was the smart one to be like, well, why are we doing this? And it's like, oh, well, we didn't have room in the oven. And it's like, well,
so
this oven is pretty big.
They were wasting good parts of the turkey that could have been eaten. But it was the husband who inquired about it.
Oh, it was the husband. See, I always get it
at the
wrong.
Dinner
Thank
table.
you. But the point is, always identify these patterns that may not serve any purpose, right? Eating habits. We're Caribbean, Spanish, and our Latin people always love arroz con pollo or brown stew chicken, you know?
And they may cook it, say, in, vegetable oil or canola oil. And you just follow suit. You follow what you've been taught. Whereas for us, we're like, how can we make this healthier, Because there's so many things out there now. So we decided, hey, we're going to start making ours with coconut oil instead. And boy, let me tell you, kicks it up a whole notch, and it's a lot healthier.
As well as veggies. Like a lot of Latin Caribbean people, they skimp out on the veggies, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why most Caribbean people and Latin people eat the way they eat is because back in the day, they didn't have cars, AC, so they needed starchy stuff to keep their energy going throughout the day while they work. Fast forward, we're in the 21st century. We got cars, planes, buses, trains to get us to our destination. Everybody works in an air-conditioned building. So you wonder why, like, man, like, I'm eating all this oxtails and brown stew chicken and rice and peas, no veggies, and you wonder why you blimping out.
Yeah, you're gaining weight or you're getting health issues.
And you're following tradition. Learn to adapt or die.
You're going ninja.
All right.
So for me, my fourth do is, personally, I always say, and I've said this for years, God is in the details. So to add to that, it's important to pay attention even to the smaller things, whether that be, I'm trying to think of an example. My husband, I know how he likes his coffee, and he likes a little sprinkle of cinnamon on his coffee. So I'm a person, I like to watch people and see how you serve something, what you enjoy eating, how you enjoy eating it, because it gives me the advantage to be able to serve you in that manner. It shows a little bit of, wow, she was paying attention to how I enjoy my coffee or how I like my salmon cooked, or even the smallest things. When I notice his shaving cream is running out, I'm gonna order that in advance and just have his stuff, nice and prepared. It's just the little things, like my husband, he loves to buy flowers, and it doesn't have to be on a special occasion, but it's just because. So
that is actually really good. God is in the details, and in a relationship, each party is always trying to save the other party time.
Yes.
Right? So I look at it as, if my wife is over there, I'll wash the dishes. Sometimes she washes dishes, but I'm like, you know what? I did everything. So now I saved you 20 minutes of standing on your feet. You can use that 20 minutes however you want to do it, right? So that's how I look at it, as I'm saving my spouse valuable time that she can channel into just resting, doing what she want to do, whatever. But yeah, very, very good detail.
Your turn.
All right. My number 4, be of one mind to get ahead quicker. Right?
So that kind of ties in with, it's funny, we didn't look at each other's notes. We wrote them separately. our do's and don'ts. So it's funny, as I'm listening to his and reading mine aloud, a lot of them kind of tie together. So with what you're saying right now is be of one accord. That kind of goes back to my finding time to pray together.
Right. And literally, when you are becoming one, if you're married, and even if you're in a relationship, right? The relationship is the precursor to marriage.
Yeah.
So it's best that you learn to try and think like one another, right? Oh, my wife usually likes it this way, so let me just do it this way. Oh, my husband does it this way. So you're thinking alike. So now you're on one accord. So when you're on one accord, it's like, baby, I was thinking about investing in this. You know what? I was thinking the same thing, but I was thinking about this. It's like, oh, I read about that too. So now you have two things. You're both on the same path, and it'll get you to the destination
faster,
much faster. So learn to be of one mind to get ahead quicker is my number 4.
That's good. That's good. I like that one. I don't know what you ladies think. Let me know. So I am on 5, right? 5 in the do list. I have, which kind of connects to, I think, your the first one, don't be afraid to communicate, because I actually have as my last one. Communication and patience in a relationship promotes a well-balanced relationship. So I don't really have to touch on that one. That one's kind of obvious where it's going. You know, it's important to communicate, to be open to communicating, and share just your most inner self with your partner, your spouse, your love, the love of your life, whatever title you give the person. But that's important, because it's like how my husband says, being able to unmask the true you within is also crucial. You know, if you're dealing with something like, you know, afraid of doing something, or I don't want to show him this side of me, or it's just open up, be an open book, because in being open and in communicating with one another, it allows that person to see from your perspective how you feel and what areas you need to work on, and just hurdles you need to get over. You know, when you think you can do it by yourself, sometimes it's like, God is like, open up, share it with someone, or share it with that individual, so that maybe they have a way to help you, you know, navigate that course, that path.
Yeah,
that goes hand in hand with your transparency, being transparent, which is what our platform is about.
Yeah, that is a major key. And it all depends on how you were raised. Like for me, I had to learn to do many things by myself, as well as my wife.
Just like myself.
So it's a learned habit. So once you get into that habit, it's like, oh, your wife is like, well, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing this and that. And like, what am I, invisible? Like, well, why don't you do it this way? Because this and this and this. It's like, oh, dang, that's right. Like, she just saved me 20 minutes, right? If I would have just communicated that in the first place, it would have been even faster. So very good point.
And a lot of times we're just afraid. Like, really, that's what it boils down to. You know, you don't
afraid of that afraid of judgment sometimes, and you can't be afraid. You gotta you know, let things out in the open.
Bear it all. And bear, like, in the essence of, you know, don't be afraid to expose your inner flaws, which is what you said earlier.
Okay, well, my last do is a touch goes 1,000 miles.
Ooh, ladies, I think you guys could agree to that. I think men too.
Yes, but one of the joys is, you know, you're with your wife and you touch her, right? You're with her for a reason. But if you notice, right, and I'm not calling my wife an animal, but if you gently touch her, it just removes that stress that she may feel. Because women are passionate thinkers, right? men just kind of veg out. We're just like, duh, we watching like TV or sports or whatever. We just zoned out, right? Women, they could be watching the game with you. They're like, okay, I gotta do the dishes. I think I have to do my nails. I gotta pick up this from the store. 1 + 1 = 2. Clouds are very puffy. They just start thinking about all of these different things. And sometimes just a touch is like 2 + 2 is what? Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna disagree.
Calm. It soothes the savageness.
Yeah. So you're referring more like to intimacy, like just having the capacity to freeze, throughout the day. Just take those moments to acknowledge one another, even if it's silently.
Yeah, I would guess so, because I'm very sporadic and random. So I'll be like,
yeah, he's so cute too. He does
hug, and she just like, oh yeah, I needed that, and she's like, all right, thanks, bye, and then she's like off doing what she's gonna do. It just, the touch is a transference,
exchange,
transference of energy,
uh-huh.
And there's times when your wife just needs that extra spark to just keep on going, and then there's times when men are so frustrated and we're way up here, and the touch just like.
Yeah, that's true. That transfer of energy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Deep.
I'm not stressed about that thing at all. And that's the healthy balance. So that's why a touch goes 1,000 miles. It can do so many different things, but the main thing, it keeps both of y'all balanced.
Yeah. That's good. That's actually, as I'm sitting here, as you're describing it, also, it came to me. It's a touch can also, just like words that shift the atmosphere or actions, a touch can shift the mind and the energy.
100%, right? And God didn't build us to stress out, right? That's why everything's like, oh, give God that, because He can remove it. But sometimes we forget because we're stressed out about COVID, someone too close to me, like, school or bills or whatever. And all of that can just be alleviated by just, hey.
And that's actually really, really a great do. Because think about your children. That's a perfect example. When something's wrong with your kid, whether they had a rough day at school or they're having a tummy ache or they just feel out of sorts, the first thing they always do is come to you and raise their hand or ask for a hug or, Daddy, can you cuddle with me? Our daughter does it all day, and our son. They come to look for that touch, that love that makes them feel differently. So it does something, and it even does something, a touch does something to plants, because everything is a living source. If you touch a plant or you touch an animal, it's just like people love having a puppy or a dog, because it's that exchange of love and energy that flows within. You touch a dog, you hug a dog is full of love. Like my kids say, the word dog is God spelled backwards. So when you love on an animal, a pet of yours, they're going to love you back. They just you just want to be happy when you see your dog run to you when you enter your home or greet you. So
right, like even if for those who have a pet, a dog or a cat, call them over right now and then just start gently like rubbing the top of the head or petting the top of the head. Their eyes just go like this, and
their tail,
it's just everything forgets, and you're like, oh, Master is touching me. And then they just put their head right on your leg, because their stress is gone, right? It calms them down. That's what happens to human beings, right? Not in the same animalistic way, but like literally just calms you down to be able to think clearly, to say, man, like everything's going to be all right. Or, you know what? My partner really loves me. He's got my back. Yeah. Just off of the hug, off of a touch.
That's wow. That's a deep analogy. It's also similar to just anything you are around. you transfer energy. You know, if you're around, like the old folks say, you know, 9 broke friends, you're bound to be the 10th, because you're in an environment that you're exchanging, you know. So it's the same thing with the touch or a behavior pattern. If you're around friends that are full of anxiety or full of negative thoughts, if you don't have control over your mind and power to be able to say, you know what, let's shift that. You don't have to keep thinking in that way. Or that person's anxiety and all that stuff, little do you know, it gets transferred over to you if you don't see it and you're not aware, able to discern the fact of where's this coming from.
And lastly, especially if your wife is pregnant, right?
Wow.
Like,
let's go somewhere.
when your wife is pregnant,
people want to touch the belly.
Like, not everybody. It's the ones the wife is really just the husband. Like, because sometimes, like, the wife is cool with the mother and loves the mother, but she's like silently, please stop touching my belly. Don't touch my belly. Then as soon as the husband comes over, oh, you okay? She's like, oh, yeah, I am now.
So you're saying the mechanics of a relationship, it is also important behind who touches or who exchanges.
Most definitely. Like, you know, there's times when a mother's touch is absolutely key. There's times when a husband's touch is absolutely key. There's times when a child's touch. But the key
is when it's done in true, pure love. That format.
Yeah, in purity. Like, if everything has to be truthful and pure intentions, right? So you have to.
We got a table of knowledge over here.
If the intent is pure, it's just easily, it's like, oh man, this is a treasure.
Yeah, that's good. Wow. Okay.